Hello and welcome to another video, and today I'm going to show you why you shouldn't believe everything you see online, on social media, and in particular on Instagram. So if you want to see how I went from this to this in about 5 minutes, then drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's go. Right, here we go. So this is the 5 phases of looking sick, aka making people think you look better than you actually do. So phase 1 is the relaxed phase. This is me just stood in the garden without a shirt on, just kind of contemplating life, you know. Now, this is first thing in the morning, so I haven't eaten, I haven't trained, I haven't done anything. Admittedly, I am sticking my stomach out a little bit and I am kind of exacerbating that poor posture with the whole rounded shoulders thing going on, but pretty much within reason, this is how I'm gonna look for a lot of the time on a day-to-day basis. Now, I don't look terrible by any means, but it's certainly not an image I'd ever want to put on Instagram or any kind of social media for that matter. With that said, I'm showing you right now on YouTube, so this is awkward. But yeah, I don't look like, you know, anywhere near shredded, like my abs are barely visible. It's just not a very good look. But like I said, the reality is this is how I would look quite a lot of the time. Now, get ready for the bomb. So within 2 seconds, boom, just literally from contracting my abs, I immediately make my physique look way better. My abs look way more defined. Now again, the lighting's not great here, so they still don't look amazing, but they look significantly better than they did about 5 seconds ago. Now, it's not as simple as just contracting your abs, like it takes practice. I remember the first time I tried to contract my abs to make them look good in a photo, I looked like a friggin' pregnant orc. But after 10 minutes of looking in the mirror and practicing, you'll be able to get your head around it. It's just a combination of sucking in your abs and squeezing them at the same time. Kind of like imagine you just consumed 25 cans of Monster and you're now stuck in a car for 4 hours. The exact same feelings and forces you'd be exerting there is what you need to do here. And yeah, if I put these two images side by side, I could easily market this as like a 12-week transformation, get shredded on my new training program transformation. But the truth is, it took me 5 seconds of contracting my abs and immediately my physique looks significantly better. Anyway, moving on to phase 3, and this is called the pump phase, which is also the name of my favorite phase from the new instructional DVD I just brought from penisland.com. Now, all I'm doing here is a few sets of press-ups. Ideally, you'd be in the gym here. Now, if you do a big push workout in the gym, you can get an outrageous pump and make yourself look way, way better than you do ordinarily, but obviously I'm in a garden here, so I had nothing to work with, so I did like, I think 4 or 5 sets of press-ups. But again, you can see almost immediately my physique is transformed. I look way, way better. I look a lot fuller. And again, if you compare this to the first shot, you can easily put these two together, and the average person would say, oh, this has taken like, you know, 6 months to a year of training in the gym to build more muscle. But the truth is, it's 1 minute of doing press-ups, and with the resulting pump, I look way bigger, way more vascular, way more defined, just a lot better in my physique as a whole. But there's still more to come. So moving on to phase 4, and this is the enhanced phase. Now this is where things start to get a little bit more dubious. So what I've done is I've taken that last image and I've put it into an app called Facetune. Now this app's really good because it allows you to make all kinds of adjustments to your images. Now ordinarily you use things like shadows. It's basically like a better version of the editing you can do on Instagram. So you know, on Instagram you can kind of, you know, you can change the shadows and the highlights and all that kind of stuff. This is just like a more detailed version of that, because you can actually target specific parts of a picture to change rather than just the whole picture. So what I've done is I've brought out some of the definition, I've brought out some of the shadows. This makes me look a little bit more defined, a little bit more vascular, but again, I'm not actually, you know, I'm not adding to the picture as such, I'm just bringing out the features that are already there. So it's kind of like, imagine I've taken myself from this garden and put myself in a studio with awesome lighting. I'm kind of like recreating the best environment I could with my existing physique. But this took me all of 2 minutes, and again, if you compare the two images, people would say, oh, the guy on the right trains harder, or he's got better genetics, or he eats more food, or he takes more steroids, or he's been training for longer, or whatever it is. But the reality is, it's a couple of filters, it's bringing out a bit of definition, bringing out a few shadows, and again, your physique looks way, way better in the space of no time at all. But believe it or not, there's more. Just when you thought I'd made all the alterations to my physique I possibly could for a picture, moving on to phase 5, and this is the enhanced / altered phase. So boom, here we go. This is the picture. Again, I've used Facetune, the app, which allows you to do, as well as kind of basic level things like changing the shadows and the definition and the highlights, etc. On specific parts of your body. You can also reshape things, so you can change, you know, shapes and sizes of objects in the picture. Now, it's really hard to do. This is the first time I tried to do it seriously, and it took me freaking ages because it's very hard to do it without distorting the background. So this is a good tip to look out for, right? If you see people that that are consistently taking images on a plain background, so if they have like a big white wall in their house and they always use that same wall for their pictures, I would kind of raise question marks on that, because it makes it really, really easy to alter shapes. Like if you look at pictures of people that have been altered, a lot of the time you can see, because if there's something like symmetrical or, you know, vertical, horizontal lines in the background, you can see they look warped and weird when someone's like reshaped themselves. If you do it on a plain background, it's very hard to see that, you know, so that's one thing to look out for. Now, this phase number 5, is where it crosses over from kind of what I would deem acceptable into the domain of unacceptable, because if you compare that first image to my final image, I look like a completely different person, you know, like that's not me. The person on the right there is not me. It's not a true reflection of myself, but I know for a fact there are people in the fitness industry today who are using those techniques. Now, I'm not talking about the first few, you know, obviously flexing and getting a pump and changing the shadows, you know, bringing out some shadows, bringing out some highlights, that's fine. Everyone does that. I do that myself. Again, all you're doing is highlighting your best features. But when it comes to actually altering a picture, so making yourself look bigger or making your waist look smaller or whatever it is, that's where obviously it becomes, you know, hugely misleading, and that's what you need to be really careful and look out for. And we're back in the room. Focus, eyes on me. Geez, that was intense. I feel like friggin' Jeremy Paxman, but I think it's really, really important to get the message out there, because I think a lot of people are being hugely misled by what they're seeing on social media. Now, again, I'm not talking about the first few things, like having a pump, getting good lighting, putting a filter on a photo, that's fine. Everyone does it, I do it myself. Of course you do it. You know, you want to highlight the best aspects of yourself. No one wants to show everyone and shout about your worst things. Like, you know, you're not gonna, if you were out shopping and you pooed yourself, you're not gonna be like, guys, sorry, excuse me guys, can we just, I just pooed myself. So, you know, like the first picture of myself where I stood out there, even though that's me for a lot of the time, I don't want everyone to see that, because like I don't look great. I'd rather kind of have a more flattering angle or more flattering lighting, or, you know, whatever I can do to myself, like I said, within reason, to make me look better, and that's normal. That's what everyone does. That's just human nature, to show off the best parts of yourself. But again, and this is key, when it comes to actually altering your image, so changing yourself, making yourself look bigger or smaller, or changing your body shape or whatever it is, that's where it becomes massively misleading, and that's what you really have to be careful about. Because what it does is twofold. It either puts people off, so they see someone looking ridiculously good and they think, do you know what, that's unattainable, what's the point, I'll just give up. Or it gives people false hope, so they think, oh, you know, that person can look that way as a result of doing this, so I'll do it myself. And when they don't get those results, they feel crap about themselves, you know. Or, you know, people can sell programs and make money off their appearance, when actually in reality it isn't their real appearance. And this goes back to what I was saying about seeing someone in real life. Like, unless you've actually seen someone's physique in the flesh firsthand, it's very hard to judge what they actually look like in reality. So to give you an example, Mike Thurston is a friend of mine. He looks friggin' sick on Instagram. His physique looks crazy good, and in real life he looks friggin' sick as well. If anything, he actually looks better in real life than he does online. His physique is outrageous, right? But there are people in contrast to that who look sick online, and when you see them in real life they look terrible. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but even at Body Power I saw 2 or 3 people who, like, they were barely recognizable. I couldn't believe it was the same person that I'd seen on Instagram that I was now seeing in the flesh in real life. So just be very wary of someone's images unless you've seen them in a video, or like I said, even better, firsthand. Don't assume that's how they look in reality. Now, I'm not saying this to make you, you know, like ultra like pessimistic and suspicious and like paranoid about everyone's physique. And there's not some huge campaign to trick people, and most people are genuine and most people do look pretty good in real life. But like I said, there are those kind of outliers, those people who are kind of giving a false image of themselves. So the best thing to do, like I said, is take things with a pinch of salt, and even better than that, just focus on yourself. Focus on your own goals, focus on your own training, and just try and beat yourself. Like, it sounds super corny and cliche, but it's true. Like, you are competing against yourself, you know. Use pictures of yourself from, say, 6 months ago and try and beat that physique. Try and stay consistent in terms of like where you take the photo, and, you know, and the environment and the lighting and whatever you've done for that photo to make it a fair comparison. But don't bother comparing yourself and competing with other people, particularly those who you've never met in the flesh, because it's very hard to gauge, it's very hard to judge how someone looks based on one picture alone. And on that note, I'm going to end the video because I'm hungry, I need to train, and time is getting on. So I sincerely hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Like I said at the start, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow.
You know what?